Hey guys, we're really close to Christmas break and I know we're all kind of dragging through the end of the semester, but let's try and get a little bit in the Christmas spirit. Hopefully you're going to have fun with this. I'm going to show you how to make this little wreath ornament. Just like all of the other ornaments in this video series that I'm doing for you guys, it's made out of these repurposed pieces of fabric. And this whole idea of taking things that you already have and then making things out of it has been kind of popular lately, especially with things like decorations and Christmas ornaments like this. So hopefully you enjoy it, and let's get started. So the things that you're going to need to make this are a ruler, some fabric strips, and I just got about 15 of them, and you might not even need that many. And then you're going to need a pipe cleaner. You can use whatever color you want. I used gold for this one that I made, but I'm going to use this sort of sparkly white snowy color for this one, so we'll see how that goes. So one thing that I want to note is that most of these fabric strips do have some little threads that are coming off the ends of them. It's just because it's woven fabric. It's little pieces that are sort of intertwined and woven together, these little threads. And so when they're cut, some of them will kind of start to come off. So don't worry about that. Your finished piece is going to have some little threads hanging off of them, but don't worry, that kind of adds to the sort of handmade artsy type look to it, and I really like these little threads coming off of it. I want to leave them. I like them on there, but you can kind of trim some of them off at the end if you really don't like them. But for now, just don't worry about them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your pipe cleaner and you're going to use your ruler to measure about 3 inches from the end of the pipe cleaner. So I'm going to hold the end of my pipe cleaner right here near the edge of my ruler, and I'm going to measure just about 3 inches. And I'm just going to sort of keep my finger on that and remember where that is. So then you're going to take one of your fabric strips and you're just going to fold it in half just like this. And you're going to make a little loop right here. And then right here where we measured 3 inches, you're going to make what's called a lark's head loop. You're going to take the loop end of your fabric strip and you're going to pass it under your pipe cleaner right there at that 3-inch mark that we marked. And I'm going to lay it down because I'm going to be able to maneuver it a little bit better laying it down. So then you're going to take the 2 ends of your fabric strip and you are going to put them over the pipe cleaner and then pass them through that little loop that you made. So we're just going to take them like this, pass them through like this, and then you're going to tug on the ends of those fabric pieces. And don't worry if your pipe cleaner gets bent out of shape. If it gets tugged all the way like this, don't worry, because we're going to be able to shape it up in just a little bit. It's not going to hurt it at all. So I'm actually even going to slide this a little bit more this way. Just make sure that we've got a good 3 inches, and we can see that it's kind of migrated a little bit. So I'm just going to tug it over just so we have a good 3 inches between the end of our pipe cleaner and where we just attached our first piece. So give it a couple tugs, and you can even tug on one of these little ends at a time and make it even tighter. So now we have this nice little loop. So I'm going to show you that one more time. You're going to take a piece of fabric, you're going to fold it in half with the ends even, and then you're going to take the loop and pass it under the pipe cleaner, and then you're going to pull these 2 ends through that loop. And notice how I am pulling in the same direction that I pulled my other piece in. We're making these go in the same direction. So again, just going to give that a little tug, and then you're just going to slide this one down closer to the first one that you put on there. And you might have to use just a little bit of muscle. If you push it a little too far, you can take them both and slide them back up just a little bit. You can even do that before you fully tighten it if you need to, if it'll help. So one more time. You're going to take a fabric piece and fold it in half. Put it under the pipe cleaner. Pass the 2 ends through the loop. And then give it a tug. And like I said, if you want to leave it a little loose at first until you get it positioned And see how mine got a little rotated like that? It's okay. Just make sure that you rotate it back around so they're facing the same way before you pull it tight. So pull it tight, and remember how I said it's okay if you even bend your pipe cleaner. If you need to bend it to really pull that tight, it's okay, because we're going to be able to fix that in a little bit. So just give it a nice tug and pull them down so that they're as close together as you can get them, like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to repeat that same process. Keep adding pieces of fabric all the way up your pipe cleaner until you get about 3 inches from the other end. So you want these two pieces to be about the same length between strips of fabric. So you're probably going to use about 15 strips of fabric, maybe a little bit less, but just keep going until you get all the way even with the other side. So pause the video right here and go ahead and finish putting your fabric strips on, and then you can replay it when you get finished. All right, so you can see here that I have finished putting on all of my fabric pieces, and I actually ended up using 16 pieces. So I did get one extra one, and that's okay. If you need to use a couple extra just to make it nice and full, that's fine. Just start out with 15, just so we can make sure that there's enough supplies for everybody. And then if you need a couple more, you can get some, that's fine. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to form this into a ring. So you can see that my two ends are relatively even. It's all right if they're just a little bit off. Mine is just, this one's a tiny bit longer than that one, and that's just fine. So you're gonna take these two ends and you're gonna cross them over each other right at the point where our last two pieces of fabric are, or our first piece and our last piece are. You're gonna cross them over right at that point, and you're gonna give it just a couple of twists, just like this. Okay, so then this is the part where you just kind of want to go in and just shape your ring. Like I said, you probably bend it out of shape just a little bit, but you can see that it forms into a nice circle just fine. So this is the point where you sort of want to look at both sides of your wreath, and you want to decide which side you like the best. So this side has all of the faces of the loops on it, and it gives it this nice sort of pattern that goes around here. With this one, I actually used the back, where the backs of the loops are. This is the face side of the loops, and this is the other side. So it really just depends on which one you like the best. So I think for this one, I'm gonna use this side that has the loops on it. So this is gonna be my front. So now we're gonna make a bow to go on top of our wreath. So you're gonna take one end of your pipe cleaner and you're just gonna bend it down and across itself like this, diagonally. So I'm gonna show you that one more time. Just take your pipe cleaner and bend it down just like this so that we have a nice little tail here, and that's gonna be the ribbon on our bow. So then you're gonna take this loop that you just made and you're gonna hold both your wreath and the pipe cleaner. So I'm using my thumb to hold this part of the pipe cleaner, and then I'm gonna use my right hand to give this loop a couple of twists. Just like that. And now we have this nice little bow right here. And we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. We're gonna take it and we're gonna bend it down diagonal this way. And we're gonna hold that pipe cleaner with our thumb, and then we're just gonna give our bow a couple of twists right here. And I do have a couple little fabric pieces that have gotten caught in it. I'll just pull those out, no big deal. If you can't pull it out, you can just kind of maneuver it around the bow however you need to. And now at this point, we're just gonna straighten up our bow. I'm gonna give our little ribbon ends a little bend so they sort of hang down just a little bit in the middle of the wreath. And we have the little bow right there. I'm just gonna straighten out all my fabric pieces, make sure they're all facing the right way. And we actually don't even need a tie for this. We don't need a string that's gonna hang this from the tree, because since it's a circle, you can just put it on a branch of your tree. You can just stick the branch right there. So that's our wreath ornament. I hope you like it.